All right. This video came out just 3 hours ago.
The year is 2020.
I will give it a chance, but it's a very long video, so we'll see whether or not it'll keep me interested.
23, and a once beloved game developer's reputation is in absolute freefall. What was at one point
Jack,
probably
give it a
the
chance, give it a
highest-rated
chance.
developer in the industry, a studio that pumped out classic after classic.
I still remember back in the day, me and my friends used to say, man, isn't it crazy how Blizzard only makes good games? Like, it's so bizarre that this studio just somehow they only ever make good games. I remember specifically this conversation with my friends, because little did we know.
Classic after classic has now become the home of incomprehensible horror. Corporate greed, broken promises, botched releases, stolen breast milk. This is the story of Blizzard Entertainment.
Blizzard.
The year is 1991,
Ooh,
and three guys
and
have
NymN is
just
born.
graduated from the University of California. Alan Adham, Michael Morhaime, and Frank Pierce. They get together to create a game development studio in Irvine called Silicon and Synapse. The name is deeply philosophical and well thought out, with Silicon representing the building block
Can he
of
react like Asmund does? How does he react? I actually don't watch enough Asmongold to really know. Isn't he always like really, he's just like this and he's like,
computer,
yeah.
and Synapse, the building block of a brain.
Yeah,
However,
obviously.
people keep mistaking the silicon
I think
part
something
for
like
the
that.
material in breast implants. Anyway, they spent the first few years porting games to different systems, but soon begin producing their own original
Pauses every 2 seconds.
games,
Oh.
with The Lost Vikings in 1992 and Rock and Roll Racing in 1993. Eventually, they get sick of constantly being mixed up with women's breasts, so
Well,
they
give me
decide to
opinion.
switch things up, changing their name to Chaos Studios. However, a company based in Florida already has the trademark,
Damn.
and are now asking for $100,000.
Blizzard's a better name than
They
Chaos
decide to
anyway.
change the studio's name to Ogre Studios.
Ogre?
But in 1994, they're acquired by a holding company
Wait, no way. Blizzard used to be called Ogre Studios?
for a few $1 million. And turns out, their
Lule.
new owners aren't a fan of the new name.
Ah.
Okay. So they flip through a dictionary, and, oh my god, there it is. In 1994,
Chat, what's the best named game company? What's the coolest company name? Gaming company.
it releases their first self-published title, a real-time strategy game called Warcraft, Orcs and Humans. And it's an instant success. It's one of the earliest real-time strategy games to hit shelves.
You're so fucking biased,
and it's a
Joseph.
blast. It also has a modem and LAN
Yeah, Paradox is a pretty cool name.
multiplayer, meaning people can get together
Valve is cool.
and go ham. And the game does well, selling 100,000 copies in the first year. And for the first time, Blizzard Entertainment is profitable.
Whoa.
They follow it up with Warcraft 2 in 1995. It's another home run. Critically acclaimed, and now selling over 1 million copies in its first year. Nice. It's now 1996, and a company called Condor Games is looking for a publisher for their nearly complete game, Diablo. Blizzard has a little look, and they like. So they buy them
96.
and rename them Blizzard North. It's also at this point that Blizzard
Oh.
notices something. Warcraft 2 had picked up a lasting online player base, mostly through third-party networks that connected players over this magic new thing called the internet.
Wow.
So they decide to make their own, Battle.net. Its original functionality is very simple, with the ability for players to chat
Oh
to
my
each other
goodness.
and search for a match. But on December 31st, 1996, it launches alongside Diablo, and people log on and play. Diablo is a massive hit, also selling over 1 million copies within its first year. In 1998, Blizzard
And I played it when I was like, I wasn't even 10 years old and it was so scary. I was so scared of the skeletons.
launches StarCraft, an RTS set in space.
Ah, this is the shit.
It sells bigly and quickly grows a massive esports
Wait, that
scene.
wasn't...
Diablo 2
Yeah, it was-
launches in 2000, another smash hit. It reaches
Meow.
almost 3 million
Amazing.
sales by the end of the year, becoming the fastest selling PC game of all time.
This game was just fucking fantastic, dude. Oh, I spent many late nights farming Uber Diablos.
In 2002, Warcraft is back, and now it has an extra dimension.
Boom.
Warcraft 3 sells 1 million units in just 1 month. immediately becoming the new fastest
And
selling PC
then,
game.
I never actually care that much about Warcraft 3, the game itself, but the mods, the custom maps for this game was just next level. I mean, this is where Dota came from. This is where MOBAs came from.
It also
where tower
releases with
defense
a
came
campaign
from.
editor, which spawns a series of popular mods
Yep.
like Defense of the Ancients. And after its expansion in 2003, it's all hands on deck for Blizzard's next project. The year is 2004, and Blizzard is getting ready to release its biggest game
Here we
yet.
go.
They'd seen how big MMOs like EverQuest were getting, and thought they'd try their hand. And after $60 million and 5 years of work, it's finally nearing release. And in November 2004, World of Warcraft launches. And it takes the world by storm,
Yep.
smashing even Blizzard's forecasts. There are so many players trying to log on in the first week that their servers have a complete meltdown, with server queues reaching the thousands. Get past the queues and actually into a game? Well, now you're greeted with a ton of latency issues and a probable disconnection,
Mwah.
meaning you're now back on that queue screen. After the initial server problems are ironed out and people can actually play, the game sucks people in en masse. Fans are very enthusiastic. It hoovers up awards.
This is really where like normies, all people were introduced like online games and video game addiction and just MMOs in general. This is where it all started.
It hoovers up awards left, right, and center and sells a ton of copies, reaching almost 6 million sales by the end of its first year. World of Warcraft isn't like your average game though. Instead of simply buying a copy, players have to pay a $15 monthly subscription fee to play. 6 million times 15 every month. And Blizzard isn't doing too badly. Everyone is playing the game, and its ads go on to feature a ton of
I'm a
celebrities.
night elf
Chuck
mohawk.
Norris, and I approve this game.
And others like Vin Diesel, William Shatner, Henry Cavill, Mila Kunis, and Dave Chappelle announce their addictions in various interviews. World of Warcraft is everywhere.
God fucking damn it!
World of Warcraft would also result in the launch of BlizzCon in 2005, a massive annual convention that would feature big musical acts and announcements for Blizzard's future games.
Tenacious.
Fans could also ask the devs questions.
Red shirt guy. Oh my god, this guy's a legend, chat. If you don't know who this guy is, OG. He like shows up and like fact checks the fucking Blizzard themselves, and then they put him in the game as like a little fact checker.
And were sometimes even featured. At this point, Blizzard
He
is
died?
among the all-time greats of gaming.
Nah.
Every game a smash hit.
Are you thinking of the guy who, there was a guy that cosplayed Who Has No Life or whatever. He died. Is that who you're thinking of?
Could do no wrong. But first,
Let me take a
flying a
selfie.
plane is easy. Just get in, flip a few switches, and you're off. But in War Thunder, it's even easier. And a ton of fun. Jump into intense PvP that takes you from the ground to the sea, all the way to the skies. In fact, War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game of all time. Just look at all those things. There's more than 2,000 of them. Someone that likes the small and agile, or a fan of the more.
Is this a mobile game or a regular game? I
War
don't.
Thunder has something for everyone. The game is deep indeed, with a dynamic damage system that damages
Regular
individual
game.
components, and a huge customization system. Hundreds of camos, historical emblems, and over a century of vehicles to pick from.
Morty!
And their models, painstakingly detailed to 100% accuracy, which you can enjoy in gorgeous 4K graphics. And you can play on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC for free. Fancy a large bonus pack with all this stuff? Just sign up through the link in the description, or the pinned comments below.
Play wt.link/bigboss, chat, if you want to check it.
The year is now 2006. World of Warcraft has almost 10 million active subscribers and is bringing in a ton of money.
Money.
So naturally, it had turned a few heads. One of those heads, Bobby Kotick, CEO of Activision.
Bobby,
Now
no!
in 2006, Activision had made good tracks in just about every genre of games, except one. And one that was now booming. The MMO. With Warcraft currently bringing in over $1 billion a year in subscriptions alone, he's interested. Now at this point, Blizzard has changed hands numerous times, and is now owned by a company called Vivendi. So Kotick approaches Vivendi with a proposition. Vivendi receives money, Activision receives Blizzard. However, Vivendi says no. Instead, Vivendi offers to merge their gaming subdivision with Activision, with Vivendi owning a majority share in the resulting company. And after a brief hesitation from Kotick, in 2008, the deal closes. Activision Blizzard opens its doors with Kotick as CEO, and Activision and Blizzard now its two subsidiaries. Blizzard would supposedly retain most of its autonomy and keep their CEO, co-founder Michael Morhaime. It's now 2010, and Blizzard has gone from just under 500 employees before the launch of World of Warcraft to now over 4,600.
Wow.
The majority of whom are preparing for the launch of StarCraft 2 in July, and the third major Warcraft.
These were still good times, though. This was like the last hurrah before things really started to go south.
Expansion, Cataclysm in December. Now, these launches were not small. Warcraft had been hitting peak after peak of players.
I mean, StarCraft 2 basically kickstarted esports.
Subscribers, and StarCraft 2's sales projections are also sizable. But Blizzard currently has a problem. Their forums. They're a little bit toxic. Blizzard has a big team of moderators, but according to them,
no, but StarCraft 1 was still quite niche, I think. Yeah, obviously, I'm not saying I didn't say StarCraft 2 was the first esports, but it's like really where things started like becoming big.
But according to them,
my opinion,
this still wasn't enough.
So
behind the scenes, they get brainstorming, and someone has a brilliant idea. How about we just force everyone that posts on
StarCraft 1 was mostly Korea
to use their real first and last name?
Oh shit, I remember this.
And in July 2010, Real ID is unveiled. And people absolutely hate it. So in an attempt to sell
there was some post from like maybe he's about to cover it actually. Let me play before I say anything.
The idea to players. Blizzard's community manager posts his full name on the forum.
Yep.
See guys, it's fine. But almost instantly, people descend on the forum and get to work. And within mere minutes, they find and publish his home address, phone number, age, Facebook, family names, and a list of his favourite music and movies. Okay, you know what? Fair enough. And after just a few days of being announced, Real ID is
such a strange decision this was.
Entirely.
But this was right when Facebook was becoming really big, right? 2010. Facebook was massive at this point, so I guess they thought they could be Facebook for gaming.
By 2009, the Warcraft 3 mod Defense of the Ancients had gained a significant following, and had even spawned a whole new genre of games. MOBAs.
Dota.
For much of that time, Blizzard had paid little attention to the mod.
It's so insane how
game.
Blizzard managed to like miss out on Dota when it came from their own game.
But the success of the recently launched League of Legends could no longer be ignored. And Blizzard finally steps in, starting work on their take on the genre, titled Blizzard Dota. Around the same time, and Valve wants to make their own MOBA. They'd hired the head dev of the original Dota mod,
you son of a bitch,
the Dota trademark, and they're calling their new game Dota 2. Blizzard is furious.
Grrr.
So in 2012,
No, I liked Heroes of the Storm. I actually had fun playing that game, but obviously if you compare it to Dota or League, it's like it did so much worse.
File a statement of opposition, arguing that the name Defense of the Ancients was associated exclusively with Warcraft due to it being made in their map editor. However, this argument has issues. See, the mod was created in Warcraft 3's map editor, but that map editor had no specific terms and conditions on ownership of said maps, IP, and concepts.
Damn.
They end up settling out of court a few months after, with Valve getting the commercial rights to the term Dota.
Yeah, I remember Heroes of New Earth. I think Heroes of New Earth was considered like the better one right when it came out compared to League.
Dota 2 releases in 2012. It's massively successful, and goes on to be an esports giant. Blizzard gets non-commercial use of the title for its community, and renames Blizzard Dota to Heroes of the Storm, which releases in 2015, and support is canned 3 years later. Blizzard would change its licensing agreements for all future games to include their ownership of player-created maps in an attempt to avoid this ever happening again. It's 2012, and the massively anticipated sequel to Diablo 2 is looking like it's releasing this year. Its development had been a bit rocky, with its dev team, Blizzard North, being canned in 2005.
This is
along with their
basically the start of the downfall,
but on
isn't
the
it?
15th of May 2012, the rebooted Diablo 3 launches. The game is horrendous. For one, its launch is horrific. The game is online only, and turns out there are massive server issues.
Yeah, but that didn't...
People are spamming their login details over and over.
What was that error called again? Oh, error 37. Error 37.
Only to be kicked out by error 37. What's worse, there's no queue system in place, so you have to manually retry every minute. This issue takes over a week to fix. Then there's the auction house. Here, loot can be bought
Real
and
money
sold
auction house.
using your mum's credit card. Activision Blizzard gets filthy rich, while the balancing gets obliterated. Endgame content is also essentially...
Thing is, I actually enjoyed playing Diablo 3 when it came out. I had a lot of fun playing it, but it didn't keep me playing the way that Diablo 2 did.
existent. However, the game sells almost 4 million copies in its first 24 hours, and over time, slowly makes a turnaround. In 2014, the real money auction house is closed, and Blizzard launches Reaper of Souls, an add-on praised almost unanimously. They're ready to make a second add-on to the game, but management says no.
Hold up.
Apparently, executives see the game as a massive failure, and demand devs jump ship. The year is now 2015. The past 10 years had seen massive expansions to Warcraft, including controversial changes to the game and its mechanics, and player numbers reflect that, now being in steep decline. A growing number of players long to go back to the days of vanilla.
Okay, sorry, Where's this from? I swear I've been here. Is this in France? Maybe not. I guess there's a lot of holes like this in the world. I've been to a similar looking place.
Being in steep decline. A growing number of players long to go back to the days of vanilla. Version 1 of the game.
Vanilla.
Back in 2004. One fan even floats the idea to Blizzard
You think
themselves
you do?
at BlizzCon 2013. Here's how that goes.
Have you ever thought about adding servers for previous expansions as they were then?
No.
No.
Okay then. We'll just make one ourselves. And the fan-made Nostalrius vanilla server goes online in February 2015. Running version 1.12.
Now, you're supposed to add the...
A month after the original launch. It's not long before the server gets massively popular, with almost 1 million accounts registered.
Wow.
It's also not long before Blizzard catches wind and brings the hammer down. Their lawyers sent them a cease and
How are they
desist in
so... It's so
2016,
annoying to look back in this. How are they so out of touch with their player base?
The server is promptly shut down. Realizing they were completely wrong about vanilla Warcraft, Blizzard do a full 180 and announce Warcraft Classic in 2017.
Wow.
Back in 2007, Blizzard started work on a huge MMO called Project Titan. It was described as a combination of Left 4 Dead, Team Fortress, and The Sims. But development led nowhere, and 6 years later,
I remember all the rumors about this. It was a bit of a shame though. I was hyped about it.
pulled. A massive failure on Blizzard's part, and a major internal embarrassment. However, the team behind it would attempt to rework the remains of the story and assets into another project, and in 2016, Overwatch hits shelves. And it's amazing. It's critically acclaimed across the board, and massively popular, quickly becoming one of the most popular esports titles.
Oh,
on
are we
the
about to
market.
see the juicer?
That, paired with their genre-pioneering card
Oh,
game
wow, what a
Hearthstone
time to be alive. All right, said it was the beginning of the downfall. Honestly, though, this was good shit.
back in 2014
Wow.
that now has almost 100 million players, and Blizzard is looking strong. However, there are problems brewing. See, Overwatch was the last big game they'd had in the pipeline for a while, and they realised they don't have much to show off for BlizzCon 2018.
Oh,
So
no.
Blizzard rushes to find something to show off. Got it. Fast forward to November 2018, and their presentation is ready to go. They sprinkle a few niche announcements here and there, like a remastered Warcraft 3, but they have one big announcement centerpiece. After 6 long years, a brand new Diablo. For mobile.
Like, look, Diablo 2, come play the mobile game that has nothing to do...
I'm amazed, honestly. It's this bad. This
Wow, young Asmongold.
is fucking insane. I don't even know like what to even say about this.
Just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
Vintage.
We don't have any plans at the moment to do PC.
Here we go.
You guys not have phones? Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
The game eventually launches, and it's bad. Firstly, it's not even developed by Blizzard, but their Chinese partner NetEase. And turns out, it's monetized to the tits.
Of course.
It costs over $500,000 to max out a single character, and becomes the worst rated game ever on Metacritic. By 2018, fans are noticing something. Activision Blizzard had been creeping, and Blizzard was changing. See, back in 2013, Actiblizzard had bought back the remaining Vivendi shares for about $7 billion, meaning they, and by extension, Bobby Kotick, now had complete control of both Activision and Blizzard. Fast forward to 2018, and this creeping had only got worse. Because of the slowdown in game releases, Blizzard's revenues are taking an absolute nosedive. So Actiblizzard steps in. It pushes the company to cut costs, and gets them to produce games at a faster pace, with Kotick apparently installing his own executives within Blizzard to ensure that happens. Apparently, tired of Actiblizzard's meddling, Blizzard co-founder Mike Morhaime steps down as president and CEO, and leaves the company after 27 years of work. He's succeeded by Warcraft's executive producer, J. Allen Brack. This guy.
And by the way, you don't want to do that either. You think you do, but you don't.
And as soon as this happens, we accelerate. The company immediately prioritizes cutting costs, and the Heroes of the Storm's development team is outright annihilated.
Peace.
Its esports league is also scrapped
Peace.
right before its 2019 season. As a result, entire teams, commentators, and support staff are suddenly left jobless.
The Overwatch esports was like way too ambitious also. They try to like build it massive from the start instead of letting it grow.
Commentators and support staff
Overwatch League
are
was
suddenly
insane.
left
They were trying
jobless.
to turn it into like a new NFL or whatever.
And despite 2018 being a record year for Actiblizzard profits, they lay off 800 employees, almost 10% of the company. They begin rehiring the exact same jobs a couple of years later.
Of course.
So going into 2019, people are not happy. But turns out, over on the other side of the world, and things are happening in Hong Kong, they're not good. Their government has proposed a bill that would give China more authority over them, and that's not too popular. At the same time, Hong Kong native Blitz Chung is participating in Hearthstone's esports league.
Oh,
He wins,
Hearthstone? I've never heard that one before.
and uses the post-game interview to show his support for the protests. But as soon as he says it, something happens. See, Blizzard has a huge player base in China, and to keep that player base available to them, they have to bend over backwards for the Chinese government. So when this happens, they go scorched earth.
The fucking commentators that didn't even say anything and just like hid also got in trouble. I remember this.
So when this happens, they go scorched earth. They take the livestream down seconds after he says it, slap him with a year-long ban, and even confiscate his prize money.
No.
Even the guys casting the stream are fired. It's not long before the internet catches wind, and people are furious. At one point, even Congress members have a go. After a few days of pressure, J. Allen Brack eventually comes out. He reduces the ban to half a year, and grants Blitzchung his prize money back.
Wow.
He also says that Blizzard's relationships with China had no influence in the
Sure.
decision. Blizzard is starting to look seriously not cool. So they decide to go into BlizzCon 2019 with the big guns, announcing Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2. Also, that Warcraft remaster they'd announced at the infamous 2018 BlizzCon is coming out next year. This'll be good.
Surely.
Back in 2015, Blizzard had set up a subdivision to remaster old games, the first of which would be Warcraft 3. And in January 2020, the highly anticipated remaster launches. And, oh boy, the game is beyond terrible. Here's why. Before launch, Warcraft 3's advertising touted multiple new features, over 4 hours of cinematic new cutscenes, more story, and new voice acting, and a complete campaign overhaul, changing
This
the
video
story
called?
to be more
It's called Blizzard is Worse Than You Thought. Here's a link if you want to check out the video.
in line with the current Warcraft lore. But when players log
Diablo
on,
2 was a really good remaster. Yeah, I played that for a bit and I thought it was really good too. I had like no complaints about it.
turns out absolutely none of this is in the game. This is after being advertised on the website for over a year.
Liar!
There's also a ton of features from the original Warcraft 3 just outright missing. Here are
Why don't you continue? I'll tell you why. I hit the level with my sorceress where I was gonna start doing Mephisto runs and just do all the grinds. Maybe start leveling a hammer then, start doing Bale runs. And then I had this moment, similar to when I played some of the classic WoW stuff.
Rawr!
And that's not what my moment was. I thought to myself, hang on, I already spent hours upon hours grinding gear so I could get better gear, so I could grind better gear in this game fucking 15 years ago, whenever it came out. Why am I doing all of this again? And I just realized it was just not, not worth me investing all that time again. But, you know,
Meow.
if I was a young teenager with nothing better to do again, I would have done it all over again.
ranked play,
No.
no profiles,
No.
no accounts.
That's the wrong mindset, is it though? Fucking,
custom
I've sacrificed
campaign?
so many
No.
hours to these games
No
already. I don't need
clans?
to.
No cross-region play for custom games,
No.
and no offline play.
No.
No.
It's possible after a few
I don't think anyone would care that I got a perfect Chaco 15 years ago.
patches, but it's a little complicated.
Yeah, I'm fun.
Also,
Who cares?
After
Yeah.
some digging, people
course.
realize the main menu background is actually a Chrome-based web app, and is taking up more of your CPU power than the actual game. Online matchmaking sucks and kicks you out all the time. This is without a way to reconnect, by the way. Graphics are worse than advertised.
Treason! Have you lost your mind, Arthas?
The new art direction is bad. 5 of the game's maps are exactly the same as the original, and poor
CV.
optimization,
Paste.
tons of crashes, and countless bugs. On top of all of that, Reforged is a mandatory update for everyone with the original game.
Like, I don't know much about development, but it is impressive to fuck up a remaster this much. When, like, you already have the game done, you've already done the hard part, which is developing a solid game with good gameplay. You literally just need to polish it now. And somehow you failed this hard? Like, I don't understand.
In the original with no intention of upgrading? Well, here's an additional 30 gigabytes of install size anyway. All of this
Yo, what up,
amounts to
Q-Chick?
one of the worst launches of a game in history. Within a few days of release, it ends up at 0.5 out of 10
Oh.
on Metacritic. At the time, the lowest Metacritic score in history.
Wow.
Before being dethroned by Diablo Immortal. So naturally, hordes of people pile in to request refunds. But wait, you've booted up the game even just once? Sorry, you're not allowed. There's so much outcry about the game, however, that Blizzard eventually caves and starts actually granting refunds. The game is so bad that the entire classic games division at Blizzard is completely canned.
You're fired!
Holy
Get outta
shit.
here.
It also causes an upcoming Diablo 2 remake to be pushed back more than a year.
Well, that was good.
So it's 2021, and Blizzard's reputation is currently abhorrent. But luckily, Overwatch 2 is just around the corner.
Ah, that's gonna save
Hold on a
us.
sec. Oh god. Turns out that over the last 2 years, the California Civil Rights Department had been investigating Activision Blizzard due to multiple reports of sexual harassment from staff. And by July 2021, they had enough evidence to file suit. The lawsuit states that sexual harassment, unwanted advances, and groping are common within Blizzard, both before and after the merge. This includes the mention of an executive suite at 2013's BlizzCon. It's not a nice place. In fact, some employees literally dub it the Cosby Suite. Then there's the alleged underpaying of women, and complaints to both HR and the president repeatedly being ignored. But there was something else. The employees' breast milk. It keeps being stolen. In the lawsuit, more than one employee alleges breast milk theft. It was very
Unironically, put a bottle in the fridge with not milk in it, but label it as such. Let them steal that and have fun.
clearly breast milk, in baggies with a baby's face on it, a former producer claims. One day, I went to retrieve my pumped supply at the end of the day, and it was gone. The fallout is monumental.
The
and
guy
makes
who sold it bragged about it on 4chan? Really? I wonder if that's true.
headlines industry-wide.
Why bring breast milk to the job? You think they bring in the breast milk, store it, and take it back? They pump throughout the day to say...
Few people are spared. Current Diablo 4 lead, gone. His character's name in Overwatch, also gone.
Rip.
Level designer on World of Warcraft, gone. Head of HR, definitely gone. Warcraft lead, gone.
Bye.
J. Allen, gone.
Bye.
Their chief legal, gone. The Wall Street Journal also alleges that Kotick knew about the whole thing, ignored it, and in some cases, even jumped in himself. He denies most of the allegations,
Oh, this guy just got banned from Twitch. I saw that.
but eventually apologizes for a one-time instance where he left a voicemail threatening to have his assistant killed. That's all fine then. Water under the bridge.
For what? I don't know.
Sponsors like
Oh, he's already unbanned?
Mobile, Coca-Cola, Kellogg, IBM and Pringles also all jump ship from the Overwatch esports league.
Bye.
And Activision Blizzard is hit with a class action lawsuit on behalf of its shareholders.
What?
Overall, the situation's not looking great. Activision Blizzard denies most of the claims, and in June 2022, they investigate themselves and find no wrongdoing.
Did they investigate themselves? Was it not an outside party?
The immediate reaction to Overwatch 2's announcement was one of confusion. Overwatch 1 was a
shout out to
monetized
NymN if that's
game
who it is.
with
I
a
have no idea who
thriving
that is or
player
what kind
base
of content
and
they put
regular
out. That was
updates.
nice.
The kind of game that doesn't need a sequel. So this was a strange move. Overwatch 2's development would also mean the end of support for Overwatch 1 in 2020, with us seeing no new Overwatch content for multiple years, essentially killing the game. What? But with Overwatch 2, Blizzard reassures us it was all worth it. Just look at all this new stuff. 5v5 instead of 6v6,
Wow.
shiny new graphics, balancing changes, map reworks, 6 new maps, 3 new heroes, more than 30 new skins, a new game mode, a battle pass and cosmetics shop, and most importantly, a PvE campaign.
Wow.
People had been longing for a story in the Overwatch universe, and now it was finally happening. And it was ambitious. Blizzard shows off a full campaign, along with
Dude,
heroes.
I remember early Overwatch where like every new hero would be announced. It would like people would find like small clues in pictures and videos, and it'd be like, oh, and this new hero is probably gonna be introduced next. And if you look in this video and here, you'll find hints on like you'd look at the newspaper on the map and you'd find like clues that probably they're announcing this next. Is that still a thing in this game? I don't think so. I don't know. I was actually really into the lore, if you will, in the start, and then at some point you just completely stopped caring. No, yeah, that's what Riot does. That shit just sort of died out. I think the issue was it was always like it never led anywhere. Most of the Overwatch lore was just about how good things used to be, and it just felt. I think this was the idea here was that now things are back to the way they used to be, but it never really worked.
Campaign, along with hero missions, talents, and massive skill trees unique to each hero. Hundreds of missions at launch, they announce. A truly replayable campaign. And don't worry, with Overwatch 2, Blizzard tells us they were redefining...
Guys, if you want to watch the video on your own, here, go ahead and do it. If you're watching my channel, then you're watching it with me and you're gonna have to deal with it.
What a sequel really means. Overwatch 1 players get all the new maps, updates, and heroes that released in Overwatch 2, and both player bases can crossplay together. The purchase of Overwatch 2 essentially only granting the PvE mode. Okay, sold. Players are on board. 10th of March 2022, and Blizzard has an announcement. Look, we know we said hundreds of missions at launch, but, well, it's taking a while, so we're just going to release the game now without it, and add it later. Then in June, they come out again. The game's now free to play, and launching in October. But anyway, on the 4th of October 2022, it goes live. There are some issues. Events are bad, tons of balancing issues, the looking for group feature is now just completely gone, but mainly, there's the new cosmetics system. In Overwatch 1, earning cosmetics was simple. Just play the game, level up, and earn loot boxes that give you skins. You could pay for them, but that was completely optional. In Overwatch 2, things are different. Blizzard has now slapped on a seasonal battle pass system, where the bulk of cosmetics
I fucking hate battle pass. I'm so sick of that system. I don't like it.
Now be unlocked.
Because they choose the order I unlock the items in, which is much worse than me being like, okay, I played this much so I can get 3 new skins. Which ones do I want? It's like, why? Why don't I get to choose?
A rotating store, and the prices there aren't great. You can unlock skins for free through the challenge system, but there's a problem.
Brave and controversial
it takes about
take,
8
thank you.
months to get one. A simple character recolor takes almost 4 weeks. All of this means that it will take you around 327 years to get all the stuff you could get relatively quickly for free in Overwatch 1. Better get playing. Also, there's now a new hero every other season, and they'd be locked behind the later levels of the season pass.
Wow.
Your options are, spend every minute of your life grinding for them, or pay up.
Give me money.
In Overwatch 1, they were unlocked straight away. Fans don't take kindly to these changes.
New
But then in
placements.
May 2023...
I played Overwatch recently and it wasn't half bad though. They say it's decent now, right? Moxie's back and stuff.
Blizzard comes out again. So, that PvP hero campaign that we've been advertising, and was pretty much the sole reason we made the sequel in the first place,
They
pretty
ruined
much completely
hitboxes.
scrapped. No more talent trees or hero missions.
Moxie doesn't know.
Instead-
Moxie was Amadeus Wolf.
We're just gonna pepper some PvE missions around every few seasons. This was essentially the entire selling point for the sequel. Some of the remaining story content is still planned, with its first release on August 10th. But when it finally
I used to play
releases,
Zenyatta, yeah.
it's only 3 missions. Blizzard is
And
saying
Zarya
the
a
game
lot.
won't be getting any more story missions until at least 2024. They also add Overwatch 2 to Steam, and it instantly becomes the worst reviewed game of all time. The year is now 2023, and Blizzard's reputation has never been worse. So when Diablo 4's release approaches, people are cautious. But on the 5th of June, the game launches. And it's surprisingly good. There are some issues here and there, but reviews are mostly positive, and over 10 million people log in and play.
Wow.
Making Diablo 4 Blizzard's fastest selling game of all time. For the first time in years, things are actually looking up. And this game was live service, meaning it would receive 3 seasons of content for the foreseeable future. The first of which was launching in July. A month later, and in July, Season 1 of the game drops. It is disastrous. And Reddit goes into a complete meltdown. Turns out, everything gets a big nerf, including the Metacritic score.
Oh, that's
The
right.
Sorcerer class, which was already underpowered.
Instead of buffing the weak stuff, they nerfed the strong stuff, which is always less fun for the players.
It's especially hard. Then there's the enemies being overpowered, much less XP, a bunch of reskinned dungeons and enemies, barely any new content, and 0 quality of life changes.
Everything here is wrong.
One streamer on Twitch tries to explain why the season isn't that bad. Here's how that goes.
Explosion is at... I actually just lost my hardcore character while trying to explain this to you. I changed my mind. I hate this season.
And it seems Blizzard also has a bit of a fixation on the
Battle Pass, Battle Pass, Battle Pass,
Battle Pass.
Battle Pass, Battle Pass.
Speaking of which, it gives paid players 666 platinum. The cheapest item in the store is 800. Also, back when Blizzard was designing the menus for the game, they decided to place the Activate Premium Battle Pass button right next to the button you're constantly pressing to see your season progression.
Ooh, that's kind of small.
There's also no confirmation button, so if you want to check your progression and accidentally misclick, congratulations, you've just purchased it. There are multiple other confirmation buttons for other menu options in the game.
Wait, how can
So
they do that?
Blizzard's
One
last
button,
few
you buy
years
something in
haven't
game?
been Great.
Somehow, Blizzard is now worse than Bethesda.
It had slowly become clear to people. With overreach from
Kurdish.
Activision, more fiscal concern, and most of the original talent having left the company, among other things. Maybe Blizzard wasn't the company.
That's the
it
guy that
once
died.
was. And after a back-to-office mandate in 2023, even more talent is leaving. So much talent that Blizzard is now actually creating crisis maps for what content they can and can't get done. But with the acquisition from Microsoft, who's currently focusing on making good exclusives to slap on their Game Pass, some fans are hopeful for change. But for now, the outlook on Blizzard Entertainment remains bleak.
All right.
And don't forget about the epic, accurate,
Yep,
action-packed War
I won't
Thunder
forget.
free-to-play PvP.
I won't forget. That's playwt.link/bigboss, chat, if you want to check out that game. And go check out the channel, the video as well, and upvote it, because that was, yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that. Thank you, Big Boss, for that beautiful video. What do you guys think? Will Blizzard ever get back to their glory days? I mean, it's like such a different company. Will never quite be the same, will it? This is totally different people. But it can't get much worse, can it? So maybe, you know, rock bottom, only way now is forward is up? Maybe? Surely? Wait, Blizzard's getting bought now, right? Blizzard just got bought by Microsoft, so we'll see what happens. There's a best of internet daily dotes. There's the new unusual memes. This thing looks insane.